Every Excel user must have used if function for the logical test and nested if function in case if multiple conditions needs to be tested. In Excel 2019, a new function ifs or ifs function is introduced. This function can replace the nested if function. If you want to know how, then stay tuned in this video till the end. Hi guys, welcome back to Tech Reflections. I am Vikram and today we will learn ifs function or ifs function and how it can replace nested if. If you are new to Excel and don't know how if function works, then you can find the link to the video by clicking on the I button at the top right. Let's start with the ifs function now. Today we have this sales data for an organization, and from that we want to know the commission amount, and on the basis of this table here we can find the commission. So if you have the sales less than equal to 800, then the commission amount, the commission percentage would be 5. Otherwise, for 1500, if the sales is up to 1500, then the commission percentage is 7.5. And if it is less than equal to 2000, then the commission percentage would be 10. So let's see how if function can help us here. Before that, we'll see if function is not available, how could we have done this scenario? So we would have used nested if. So let's see how nested if works first of all. So here we'll just use if. By nested if I mean that when we have multiple if condition inside each other, then it would become a nested if. And how this scenario can be handled by nested if, we will see here. So the first condition is that the sales is less than equal to 800. So this G2 is having the sales, and we just want to check if it is less than equal to the amount that is mentioned here. And now, because for all the rows in our data, we want to check the same the scenario, same conditions will be applied to them. So let us lock this particular cell where this value is there. So we can do that by pressing F4. So this is locked. Now going forward, this is the logical condition for the if. And then next argument is if this condition is true, then what we need to do. So in our case, we need to get the commission amount calculated for sale, and that is 5% this sale by the commission percentage. And in here, this commission percentage will be used for all the sales. So we need to lock this. So we can do it by F4. And then we move to the next part, a comma here, if it is false. Now, if it is false means that this our sales is not less than equal to 800, so it is greater than 800. Then in that case, the next if condition starts. So here, again, we have a logical test. So the logical test would be that this sale is less than equal to the amount which is mentioned here in this table, that is 1500. We'll lock this. Then we move to the next argument, that is if it is true, then we multiply our sales by the percentage amount, by the percentage commission percentage, that is 7.5. We need to log this again. Sorry. Yeah, this is locked. Then moving to the next, again we have are in the if part of it, else part of it. If it is false, then we need to check one more condition here. So we'll just use another if here. And for logical test, it would be again, if this amount is less than equal to the amount mentioned in this table, that is 2000, then We will lock this first. And then if it is true, then this amount, the sales amount, needs to be multiplied by the commission percentage. So with this, with all the true conditions are handled. Let's say for any other amount, because this false condition here means that we are talking about if all these conditions are failed, then what we need to do. So let's say in that case we'll just put 0 as because we are not providing any commission for any other amount. So if we, okay, now we just missed locking this cell and 7. So let me do that. Okay, and then we press enter. Sorry, this error is because we have not added all the closing braces for all the if conditions that are automatically done by the Excel. So this is calculated. So why this 0 is coming here is because the total amount, the sales amount we had is 2500, and then 2500 is not within the table that is provided to us. So the commission would be 0 here. Then we drag it down and see we got some zeros, and then otherwise if the amount is less than equal to 2000, the sales amount, then the commission is calculated on the basis of the percentage. Okay, so if you see in this nested condition, we have to use if so many times, and we have to take care of all the starting braces and closing braces. So how that can be easily handled via ifs, and if we can do that, then it would be clear that how this nested if function can be replaced by ifs. So in this column, we'll see the same thing, if how the same thing can be done via ifs function. So this is, sorry, ifs. Now, if you see the ifs part, the syntax that is shown here is first we have the first logical test, which would be the same, where we will compare this amount if it is less than equal to the amount here, the first amount in our table. So now we are here comparing it with the first amount. Then we want to lock it. We'll just select it, F4, and this gets locked. Now we'll press comma. Next is what if the value is true? Then if the value is true, then we multiply the sales with this percentage in front of it. And let me move this part, this syntax there, and we again lock this. And then now see if you see the syntax here, now it is not asking for any condition. If it is false, we can directly use the second logical test. Earlier in the nested if, we used to have to use the if condition again, but here we just mention this again. This should be less than equal to this amount. Again, we need to lock this. And then if that's true, then this multiplied the sales amount needs to be multiplied by the commission percent. And then we can use the comma again. We have to lock this. We have to keep locking all the cells which will be used, and because we don't want to move the reference. And then the final condition, the next would be again the third logical test. The third logical test is that this amount should be less than equal to the last amount, that is 2000 in our case. And we lock this again. And finally, so what will happen if this third condition is true? Then we'll just, you can see, let me bring it to the screen. Okay, so now if this is value, this value is true, then we have to see what we need to do. If the outcome of this condition is true, then we need to multiply the sales with the commission percentage for this row. We'll lock this also again. So this is also locked. Okay, now we don't have any more conditions, so we can directly close the braces because we started only single brace. So we just use one to close it and we press enter and we got an NA. Okay, so why it is throwing NA? Because the ifs function don't allow us to use the else condition, but the value that we are trying to find the commission for is 2500, which is not in the list provided here. So we'll see how that can be handled. So as of now, if I just drag it for all the values, so I am getting the commission for all the amounts which are less than equal to 2000, and any amount above 2000, we are getting an error. So that's because we are not having an else condition here. So coming up in this video is how we can use the else condition in if function. If you're finding this video useful and informative, then do like the video and share it with your friend. If you want to continue watching such content, then consider subscribing to the channel and also press the bell icon. Now let's see how the else condition can be used in ifs. So in the earlier part of the video, we have seen that when we use ifs function, the ifs function is not allowing us to have an else condition. And that's the reason if there are some data which is outside the if conditions, which falls under the else part, then this ifs function is throwing an error. So how to take care of that, how to avoid this error? So for that, let me go to the first cell where we use this formula. And the trick to use in case of else scenario where we have some data which is outside the range that can be taken care by the true part of the if function, then we can add another condition to it, like we have done. We have added 3 conditions earlier. Now we will add one more, and that is for the else part. So how can we add that? We will just use true as our condition here, which means that this condition will always return true. So if other conditions are um, false, then this condition will always be true. Otherwise, when the function will start executing, so if any condition before this true part is true, then that will get executed, and the execution will not reach up to this point. But up till this point, if there is none of the condition is true, then this part will always be true. And here we can mention what we need to do. If none of the condition is true, then we can just mention here 0, because in our earlier example for nested, if we use 0, if the any sales amount is more than 2000, we use 0, although it's little illogical. But just for the sake of clarity, we are using 0 here. You can use any value. You can, let's say, use maybe 15% or any other percentage which you feel that should be given to the people who are making sales more than 2500. So in our case, we are just using it 0, and we can just press enter here, and now it would be working fine. So now we have got 0 here. We can just drag it down. Now all the errors get converted to 0, because now for all those scenarios where the sales is more than 2000, that last condition is executed, and which is returning a 0. Okay, so this way it must be very clear to you that how ifs function can be used in all the cases where earlier you are using nested if. And it also simplifies the all the complication that was there with the nested if. Like you have so many ifs and you need to remember how many of them are there, how many braces were started, how many needs to be closed. All the ifs should have true and false, both parts. So it gets little cumbersome if the number of conditions you have is higher. But in this, it's very easy. You just keep on adding the conditions. You don't have to worry about adding if again and again. And also for the closing and opening and closing braces also, you don't need to worry. So let me know in the comments if this video has helped you start using the ifs function in place of nested if, or if you have any question related to this function or any other Excel function that you are using. If you want to learn more about Excel functions, the link to the videos will be there on your screen now. I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, stay safe and stay healthy. Goodbye.